Yeah.
Hey yo, man, it's your time. And fuck poverty. Get this money, man.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Phil and Leroy the Judgmental Podcast.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Phil.
And I'm Leroy. So we back to our regular scheduled programming since it's no football for us, cause no Eagles, but we got some more football talk later. So I gotta go to my girl. My girl is Itsjenbunny on Twitter. she has a story about a man who wanted all her attention that she met on Bumble. Here's the video.
So I literally met this man yesterday on Bumble, and
Damn, girl.
why?
She's never alone. She always got her girlfriends with her. Every video she does, she's never alone.
She sure do got some fucking jugs.
Her girlfriends is always right by her side. She's a true friend.
It is so triggering to me to meet somebody that immediately
They have things to be at her waist if you take their shirt off.
wants you to drop everything and talk to them. So we started messaging yesterday morning, but we matched on Friday. So yesterday was Sunday. So we had a couple of days in between. I find out that he was only in Houston for a little bit for the holidays, and he was on travel mode. So he don't even freaking live here. He lives in Baton Rouge.
Trying to get someone on the side, huh? Bumble, that's what you do. That's the hookup.
I'm about to say, hey, look, do what you can do to white and get in where you fit in.
Right.
So I was like, okay, well, that's not ideal, but Baton Rouge isn't too far, whatever.
And he don't want no long distance relationship.
I'm putting up my Christmas decor yesterday and just like kind of hanging out with my kid, doing Sunday stuff, like chill. I sent him a message and then I put my phone down. I literally started working on my house and decorating and everything like that. And I get back to my phone and I look at another message that he sent, and he was like, I wish you were more engaged in this conversation. Like, we just started chatting, and he was,
Ma'am, you met him on a website. He trying to get some. He live in Baton Rouge, so he. This woman is funny. I gotta give it to her. She's unintentionally funny.
That's your girl.
it's like,
He wanted to get some. That's why he wanted to keep calling you. He don't want no damn long distance relationship. And you met off a website. Ain't like y'all know each other.
well, let me know when you have more time. And I was like, I'm messaging you at the pace that I feel comfortable with getting to know someone I just met online
Girl,
right now. And he was like, that's not how I work. If I'm contingent on getting to know you, and I see potential in you, I'm gonna give you my attention, and I expect the same. I'm worth more than that. I was like, nigga, worth more? I don't even know. Right now you're coming off as very controlling. So I was like, you know what's super attractive is a man that has patience, and also a man that is masculine and not coming off as
Like, cut the bullshit. What hotel are we going to tonight?
the other word. But like, anyways, he kept at it, and he was like, I just feel like if somebody is giving you attention, you should give them the same. I said, so let me ask you, with me doing my home decor, being Betty Crocker over here, would you like me to drop everything?
Yep.
He was like, no, I find that very attractive that you're Betty Homemaker or whatever. And I was like, but you still in some
Gassing her head up.
way want me to drop everything to
My man is putting in work. That's what he doing.
Yep.
He trying to see what's up before he skip town.
Exactly.
you. That's insane. Like, I just met you and I don't even know you. Anyways, he gives me
She know what's up.
Yeah, playing stupid.
Right. Why is he always asking for my attention? Yeah, he is a short period of time he's in town. He trying to get laid before he go back
I got
home.
2 days and this girl's stalling.
Yep.
his number
She talk about something. She put up Christmas directions.
on the platform, and he was like, use it, but it does have an expiration. Okay. Anyways, I was like, I'm not to be fronted to make conversation with somebody or forced to make conversation with somebody. So I don't use it. So on the app you can make a phone call too. So like 2 hours later I get a phone call from the app and I'm like, okay. So he starts calling. Ooh, child. He starts calling and I answer just to.
What time was this? I would love to know what time was this.
Or whatever. So he's on the other end of the line. He was like, oh, well, finally I get to kind of speak to you. And I was like, yeah, I mean, if you were patient enough, I would have called eventually. But, it seems like you don't have that in you. Anyways, we go over the little details. I already knew this was not going to work because impatient men that are kind of rude, the first word he said to me, because I asked him, I was like, okay, well, have you been married before? He says, yes. Have you been married before? I said, no. I said, why aren't you married anymore? He says, well, it seems like you're very aggressive. You want to ask all the questions and lead the.
Girl, you doing too much. So what? Why are you not married before? That don't have nothing to do with us.
Yeah, I ain't talking about that right now. We're talking about us.
Conversation.
Is she that's naive?
She playing stupid.
Okay.
She know what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, I asked 2 questions. He answered the one. He asked me. I answered the one. I went back to ask him. Bouncing balls, bantering, like normal people. He was like, you seem like you are one of those type of women that likes to control the conversation. You can't outman a man. I said, actually, there was like a tiny bit more of that conversation, but I said, you know what? Actually, yeah, I'm good. I'm okay. Have a good night. So I hung up the phone. He texted me. He was like, we can't end our night on this. And I was like,
oh, he trying hard too, boy.
You ain't lying.
Because I would have already been done with her ass.
Actually, we can. Good night. And then I blocked him on all the things. Like, really? Nigga, you called me aggressive our first conversation because I asked you a question. These men want you to be aggressive. They have this in their spirit that they're like, okay, I'm ready to argue. Let me find a woman that's actually super soft.
No. Super
freaking chill, funny as fuck, like has a great personality, conversationalist, and you make her.
There go our pretty lady there, just boosting herself up. I like her. That confidence is 100.
You demonize her. That's what they look for. They look for the good ones that they can ruin. Fuck that, actually. Like, no. That's, like, I'm actually re-pissed off because why the fuck would you call me aggressive? Because I asked a question. You seem like you want to control the conversation. I'm bantering with you, Negro. Like, 47 and single. Let's talk about that. 47 and a single dad of an 11-year-old.
What's wrong with that?
Fuck you.
I have no idea. She just that dude. He in town and he trying to get something before he go back to Baton Rouge. I think she said.
She shot him down, but them damn pillows kept calling him. So he said, "I can't give up."
Yep. He see them girlfriends. He said, "Boy, this is gonna be the a menage a trois with her and her 2 girlfriends with her." But shout out to my girl, Itsjenbunny on Twitter. I mean on TikTok, I'm sorry. So we go on to Charlotte, North Carolina, where WBTV investigates a video of a Charlotte drug bust go wrong. This was last year before the holiday. Well, the video was old, but the report is around that time. You got to see this. Here's the report.
Only on WBTV, new video sheds important light on the devastating consequences of a federal task force bust gone wrong.
Yeah, the video comes as a result of WBTV fighting and winning for its unsealing in federal court. Investigative reporter Naomi Coles walks us through it.
It's the early morning hours of November 1st, 2019. A man walks out of his home in Northwest Charlotte. Moments later, an FBI task force waiting outside closes in as he runs back into the house. From Gastonia Police, this is Task Force Officer Clarence Belton. These are his task force partners, and this is CMPD officer Heather Loveridge and her partner. They're not on the task force, but according to court filings, they've been called in for perimeter support. The task force has a search warrant as part of a drug investigation. What's about to happen after this man runs inside has become the subject of controversy and a lawsuit that spent years slogging its way through federal court.
I've got 45 years of law enforcement experience.
This is Dr. Roy Taylor, who I asked to watch the video.
Well, my thing is, if the local police was just there for perimeter support, why was they so up close on the house like that? Shouldn't they just been on the street?
Because they wasn't. They trying to involve themselves in the situation.
Right.
Video with me. He's a police litigation specialist and longtime police chief with experience on federal task forces.
Like, why are they
this one.
standing there?
He has no connection to the incident or the lawsuit, but he researched both at my request.
I'm going to start it right before the suspect runs into the garage in the house.
Belton and his partner, just off screen, are about to use a battering ram to take down the door. When they do, court filings say a woman is standing there, just off screen, with a gun pointed at them. Belton and his partner shoot. Belton feels his arm go numb, his gun drops, and he collapses and will later testify that he crawled and stumbled out of the garage while continuing to take fire. It's hard to see here.
It adds legitimacy to the fact that he was actually crawling. There he is right there. You can just make out his profile.
As he crawls, CMPD officer Loveridge fires at him.
Perimeter support. Perimeter support, but she up on the house. And she just steady fucking fire.
14 times.
I hate to laugh because they ain't
14 times. That's crazy.
She had heard the shots fired in the doorway, saw no officers left in the garage, and thought Belton was the suspect. Belton was the only black officer on the task force.
Of course.
And the suspect, Loveridge had been told, was also black.
If a person is crawling toward you,
Boy, they look just alike.
She need to be charged. My man got a damn police vest on. He came there with y'all, and you shooting him. Even if he was the suspect, he's not shooting. He's on the ground crawling, and you shooting, unloading 14 shots at him.
Right.
It makes no sense.
Number one, both of those officers shouldn't have been standing there like that anyway. Second of all, like you said, she seen them because they was all together. And that one little group right there, they was all together. So she already knew who the officers was.
The tan police bodyguard vest, body armor vest.
Right.
So now he the suspect on the ground. It was a guy that came out and he said a thing, and it's bullshit, but it's almost true. It seemed like some of these cops, they get their stripes when they kill a black person. Because it seemed like they always do that as a young police officer. And then say, well, I didn't know, or I fear for my life.
Right. They was just standing up there together or whatever.
Right.
And now all of a sudden, that's the suspect laying on the ground. The suspect is a fat dude with no hair on top of his head. And this dude got hair on top of his head and he's skinny.
And it was a white cop that was with him that was in front of him. She didn't take a shot at him.
Right.
is that something you can shoot at?
Absolutely not. Irrelevant that it's a police officer. It wouldn't matter if it was the suspect or the
he said the same thing I said.
Gun or an innocent person in the house. There's no justification for firing that weapon.
Now he's out in the light now, and she's still unloading on him. The vest says police on the motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Belton survived, but with permanent injuries.
Officer down, start that way.
He's suing Loveridge in the city of Charlotte for negligence. At the heart of the case, a test of the leading legal decision that governs much of the modern-day use of force nationwide. That's Graham versus Connor, a Charlotte incident that went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court in 1989. It's a legal decision that Dr. Taylor says all officers, including those at CMPD, are trained on multiple times.
You know, her defense, I mean, this is a very quickly unfolding, dangerous situation. But again, you don't use deadly force unless there is a threat of deadly force being used against you or somebody else.
But there are larger issues at play, as this video shows. Loveridge, for example, has pointed to how difficult it was to see the words police on Belton's vest. Dr. Taylor.
They was just right there together. There they go right here.
She knew
she don't see the cop.
She knew who he was.
He the only black dude there.
Sees this case as one where different decisions from the task force after the suspect ran inside could have changed the outcome.
This is much more than a few task force officers really should tackle. They really should pull back, secure the perimeter, and wait for reinforcements to come.
Is there a larger conversation to be had about the training and the regulations for these types of missions?
I think so.
1223, we got shots fired out here on Oakburn.
Reporting in Charlotte, Naomi Coles, WBTV, on your side.
Yeah, he the only one there, the only brother there, and they standing right next to each other. And she don't know the difference.
Unloaded. Now he's in the light outside, and she's still shooting at her. She unloaded 14 shots, and they waited till she get finished to yell out, "He's one of us," or "That's our guy." They should have been said something, or shit, go tackle her. She just unloading on the man and he on the ground. He a cop.
Yep. But we stand in Charlotte, North Carolina, where federal investigators accuse Charlotte community activist Cedric Dean of exploiting homeless people to defraud Medicaid out of millions of dollars. Here's the report.
We are live at 5 o'clock. We start out with breaking news tonight. A Charlotte activist is under a federal investigation accused of taking advantage of homeless people to defraud Medicaid. I'm Scott Wickersham.
And I'm Hannah Getz. Chopper 9 Sky Zoom captured investigators at 2 properties owned by Cedric Dean. Now, Dean has been well documented through the years. He is the founder of Save Sons Against Violence Everywhere. He's also a self-proclaimed homeless advocate.
Dean says
But he ain't homeless. He sure ain't homeless. He got 2 of them.
Bought single-family homes to turn into group homes, and that he ran a program at this hotel where he says he tried to provide food, shelter, and treatment for people in need. Well, now court documents say Dean obtained Medicaid information from people at some shelters and then turned that into money for himself.
Channel 9's Joe Bruno is live tonight at the federal courthouse. Joe.
Well, feds here say that Cedric Dean would only give homeless people housing or meals if they provided him with their Medicaid information. You might recognize Dean from some of our past stories. He claims that
I'm not giving you nothing until you give me all your Medicaid information.
He's an advocate for the homeless, but now he's accused of using the homeless for his own personal gain.
I truly feel that the city of Charlotte needs to be held accountable.
Now feds say they want to hold Cedric Dean accountable. In June, we met to do an interview in front of the community activist's house on Youngblood Road in the Palisades neighborhood. Today, feds paid a visit. They want the government to seize it, saying he bought it with money tied to a health care and Medicaid fraud scheme. Feds say they spoke to 8 witnesses who either worked or lived in one of Cedric Dean's properties, and they told investigators that Dean and his workers would get Medicaid information from people living on the street or in homeless encampments. Feds say Dean used that information to submit claims for services that were not provided. In one case, they say he claimed to have provided 54 services for someone who was dead. Feds say Cedric Dean Holdings billed the Medicaid program at least $14.5 million from September 2024 to June 2025 and received nearly $9 million. This graphic.
Well, this goes what you I hate to laugh, but this goes what you say about this is almost like the PPA stuff.
The COVID scam.
Yeah, how they'll let you get away with all that stuff, but they got a record and they knew that dude was making claims on a guy that was dead. They don't all it take is what to search a name on a computer.
Yep. Do you remember the lady that was in Philly? It was 2 women and they were taking in all these crazy people off the streets and homeless people and then locking them in the basement and collecting all the money for Social Security and stuff.
No, how long was this ago?
Shit, this wasn't that long ago. I just saw another documentary on it about it, but it just reminded me she was doing the same shit. She would take a homeless person and be like, well, look, you can stay with me in my house and I'll get you some food and all this shit. All you gotta do is give me your Social Security number and shit like that. So she would get like cards and benefits and all this shit in their name and shit. And here they tied up in the basement starving and shit.
Was she black?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was I believe it was in Philly somewhere too.
Mm-hmm.
Provided in court documents shows how some of the money was routed to accounts that were used to pay for cars and houses. Those houses included the Youngblood property, a house on McChesney Drive in the Highland Creek area, plus 2 homes in Shelby. Feds are now trying to...
I know, he got a big-ass house from the looks like.
Mm-hmm.
seized them along with 5 vehicles and all the cash in the bank accounts where the Medicaid money was stored.
Look at that debt.
Damn.
Feds are also
2 umbrellas on that thing and a jacuzzi.
Mm-hmm.
Dean's income. They say from 2018 to
And he had that RV. I don't know if it was an RV or a food truck.
2024, he earned a total of $164,000. But then last fall and winter, his income increased to $10,000 a week. Now,
Jesus.
As if the,
I bet he ain't stashed none of that shit.
Yep, and as if the government didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Important to note that he is not facing any criminal charges at this point. That investigation is still ongoing. I reached out to Cedric today, but he did not message me back. Reporting live in Uptown, Joe Bruno, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
All right, Joe, thank you. Now, Cedric Dean has already spent more than 28 years in prison in 2 separate convictions. At age 16, he was convicted of robbery and spent 5 years in state prison. He was later convicted of selling crack cocaine and spent time in federal prison before being released in 2017.
Drugologist.
And that's that's another thing. That's another thing. It's always, they always get these criminals, and they had these criminals would always get these positions like this. And what do the criminals wind up doing? Criminal shit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that the plan, or?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Okay.
Because shit, if I win $600 on a scratch off or a slot machine on my phone, that shit get reported to the IRS right away.
Right.
Now, here these motherfuckers getting $10,000 out the blue a week, she said.
Mm-hmm.
And ain't nobody know. Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
CMPD arrested Dean back in May for misdemeanor breaking and entering. But the report noted Dean has been charged with previous violent and property crimes, including assault with a deadly weapon.
And he just all over the place, kidnapping.
Earlier this year, a woman and her baby died while staying at the North Charlotte hotel he operated. Dean said the death was the fault of a previous manager's responsibility. He also used a Fayetteville hotel to help the homeless, and that one was shut down for permit issues. Now, Medicaid fraud can be easy to commit because the Medicaid office presumes all claims are accurate.
It ain't easy to commit.
Typically, a person hands
They
over
just
their
allow you to
Medicaid
keep doing
information
it
at a doctor's office or treatment center. Now, that provider is
Here
supposed
she
to
got to fight just to get her medication.
Yep.
Sends the bill to Medicaid, and Medicaid sends money to the doctor's office or treatment center to reimburse them. In this case, though, the feds say the people were not getting the treatment. You can find our complete coverage of today's raid on Cedric Dean's properties, plus the previous convictions and allegations against.
Well, going on to our comments. If you want us to read a comment, send a comment on TikTok at pnljudgementals, TikTok and YouTube at pnljudgementals, and Facebook too. But normally people will send comments on YouTube and Facebook. So we're gonna start off. Let me go to the first comment. The first comment, Gutterman 454. Shout out to him.
My boy.
He says, let me zoom in here because he said, son, this was in reference to the Buffalo and Eagles podcast last episode, and we had a little our TikTok, and he replied to this message. Gutterman 454. He says the entire Eagles organization should be embarrassed. You had the greatest collection of offensive talent in franchise history and handed it to a toddler of an offensive coordinator. Nick Sirianni should be ashamed for promoting Portillo. Howie Roseman should be ashamed for allowing Sirianni to do it. This was a complete failure of leadership, and it cannot be allowed to happen again. Absolutely agree. And someone named Philly Phil's 24. Do you know who that is?
Yep, your boy right here.
So Philly Phil said agree, family, and that's absolutely true.
Well, because I've been saying that all along. I said when you coming off a Super Bowl and you got this much talent, you can't give this to an inexperienced rookie coordinator. You have to have experience back there to know what to do with this.
Mm-hmm.
So he pretty much hit the nail on the head, which I've been preaching.
Right. So we got Donald Holland 59 says, when an offense goes 3 and out, after 3 and out, it tires its own defense out. If it wasn't for the D, we wouldn't have a chance to be in the playoffs in the first place. All the defense needed was a component offense, and we'll still be in it. Jammer says they all got to go, man. CJ replied, nah, the D has to react to the O, meaning our O has to call something that'll make their D make a mistake, which didn't happen. Their O didn't make our D make many mistakes. In fact, we got 2 picks in a fumble. I don't have the rest because he said it's something else. And I'm reading it from a picture. I'm not reading it from the actual TikTok. And Donald Holland said, exactly, trying to blame the defense is just nitpicking. That's a reference to what I said. Number one, Donald Holland, I didn't blame the defense. What I said was, if I'm Harry Roseman, me and Vic have to have a sit down. And he has to have a sit down because of this right here. The stats from defensive stats is total yards, 328.9 total yards, which is 13. So they're in the middle of the pack in total yards.
Giving up yards.
Right, yes.
Okay.
Passing yards, they are 109.8 yards, 8. Not bad, but not good either. Rushing yards is 124.4. They're 22nd in the league. Points is 19.1. That's 5th in the league. Third down percentage is 40%. They're 21st in the league at 40%. So the defense is like middle of the road.
Solid. They solid, but they're not good or great, but they're solid.
Right. Another thing is they're like 15 in sacks. 13 or 14 or 15 is in the teams in sack. Yeah, the middle of the pack. So there's garbage teams that got more sacks than they do. So what makes you think that Howie Roseman ain't asking what's going on? How can we correct this?
Right. So
I didn't say fire him.
Right. So the defensive coordinator got this philosophy of bend but don't break, which is bullshit. Because then you the times that you fucking bend and they bust your ass, now you broke and you need the offense to do something.
Right.
How about just come out and fuck every quarterback up that you play against?
Exactly.
Send them dogs, play aggressive. Stop giving them 5-yard cushion and fucking playing the deep ball and just giving it all the underneath. So then teams just march right down on the field on underneath shit.
Right. Now we just seen that the 49ers got their ass whooped by the Seahawks 41-6. So you tell me that couldn't be the Eagles? The 49ers only got 6 points.
Well, that's because Seattle's played aggressive. They went after that quarterback and they ain't do that bend but don't break bullshit.
Exactly. Now you happy with your defense this year, Donald Holland 59? Because I know I'm not. And I didn't say fire him. I said that we'll have a sit down conversation. Like, what is wrong? What needs to be changed?
So as parts of the defense that's excellent, top 10, top 6, 7.
Yeah.
But then there's other parts that's back there in the 20s. So that's what balance it out and make it middle of the pack. It ain't great, but it ain't shitty.
Exactly.
So it definitely can use improvements. And I was talking to Chick yesterday. He was saying you got to fire Nick Sirianni, Patullo, AJ Brown got to go, and the kicker. I said, well, you can't fire Sirianni because he just won a Super Bowl. And he can be on the hot seat for the next year, but he like, no, he got to go because he hired Patullo. Okay, that was his friend. He gave him a job. That's why you're on the hot seat now. Patullo go, you go. You know what I mean? Kicker go. AJ Brown, you can't really give him up because he costs too much.
Right. The only way, like I said last week, the only way I would give up AJ Brown unless we sign another big time wide receiver. I don't see that happening.
It don't got to be a big time receiver, but it got to be a big time player, and the contract's got to kind of be similar because if not, you're gonna take a big cap hit.
Right.
Even if you give him up for like a damn draft pick, a number 1 draft pick, you still gonna take that cap hit.
Anything else?
Nah, I ain't got nothing.
All right.
You mean as far as the Eagles or the pod?
The Eagles or the pod, either or.
No,
Oh, all right. If you want your comments read, again, you can reach us on TikTok, Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube at pnljudgementals. Instagram is the_judgementals, or you can email us at pnljudgementals@gmail.com. Sorry, Phil.
All right, y'all. Peace out.
I can do it on my own. That's why I produce the track. Don't wonder where my crew is at. They'll be back. Niggas see me walking on the block and look like, who is that? Who is that? People always wanna know where my friends is at. Like we attached. I don't need no crew to produce the same effect. How lame is that? Niggas say that we drawlin', but really we